American men are apparently less convinced now that sexual harassment in the workplace is such a big deal as compared to back in 2017 when the Me Too movement started, according to a new poll out. A Gallup survey found 53% of men see workplace harassment as a problem. That, therefore, down from 66% when the Me Too movement exploded after that series of sexual assault allegations against powerful men. However, it does seem that people are more sensitive to the problem. Gallup suggested that the way the story's been covered in the media may have changed men's attitudes.
During that time, a torrent of sexual misconduct allegations have been levelled against well-known men and widely covered in the media. This preponderance of news coverage may have put men on the defensive, or it may be that they had a strong reaction in the immediate wake of the Weinstein allegations and the start of the Me Too movement, but they may have become somewhat desensitised to the issue since then.
We put these new findings up for debate, and it seems the Me Too movement is still a polarising topic, whatever the numbers say.
What they said in their study was simply that there's a discrepancy between men who are Democratic as well as men who are Republican, and it seems as though that drop is more heavy leaning towards the Republican man. Maybe it has something to do with the hearing on Brett Kavanaugh. I think that a lot of men right now are a little concerned that this situation could happen to them, and it's got them on the defense.
The Kavanaugh hearings brought to light how false accusations going back years and years that have zero evidence can actually be used against someone later in their career. And I think we've seen so many false accusations that many Americans, especially Constitution-loving Americans, fear, rightly so perhaps, that due process could be undermined if it's a she said it and we have to believe it scenario.
Dating back to when women first entered the workplace, the 40s, 50s, and 60s, the 70s, there have been women who have not said a word. Why? Because the culture and the temperature and the climate was never an acceptable place and time for them to present their issues. And so the Old Boys Club or Old Boys Network was allowed to function in this way where men were able to do what they wanted to do and women weren't respected in the workplace, and they were able to take advantage of women. The rules have changed and we're not playing that game anymore, and that's what's happening. Men are getting caught and they want to go back to how things used to be, and so they don't want to acknowledge the fact that sexual harassment is still a very pervasive issue, and since 2017,
I take huge issue actually with the
away.
gross platitudes that your guest is using. I take real exception with categorizing or castigating men as one whole massive violent group while casting women as some sort of one whole massive group of victims. That is just not true. There is gray area here.
That's not at all what I did. We're talking about the 13%.
Excuse me. If we're going to have a rational conversation, you have to recognize
me. We're having a conversation.
That, yes, some men are bad, and yes, some women have made false and yes, because you were going on. Yes, some women have made false accusations. It is an absolute provable fact. And so until you're ready to have a conversation like that, you're going to be caught up in all the same hypocrisy that many on the side of the Me Too movement that has become so radicalized that they think all men are evil and all women are victims. My life experience has taught me that when you speak in black and white like that, you make a big mistake, and it's bigotry, frankly, to talk that way about men or about women.